Hello, welcome to the Cables, Lace, and Tails podcast. My name is Sue, and I'm a maker from northwestern Wisconsin. You always see Tallulah, but you never see Anya. And Anya is such a soft baby. She's so sweet, full of claws, but so gentle and sweet. Very formidable, especially in a dark night with her glowing eyes. Would you like to stretch? She likes to stretch. Oops, She's also I think she's part ragdoll because she's very floopy. So we have to be careful with her. There, that's better. Isn't she pretty? She's a nice kitty. She is 2 years old. Yes, she's a big 2 year old. So today is quite pleasant outside, quite hot inside. We only have a small window AC unit for my home, and the air outside isn't very good right now due to the Canadian wildfires. I hope everyone is okay, and I am sorry if they lost everything in these horrible forest fires. All right, so I don't have much to say today. I will talk about how I keep track of all of my projects, and I will also discuss one finished object. I know I showed this last week and it was almost done. She's playing over here. Anyway, this is I want to say semi self-drafted. I took an old maternity nightgown I have, which is like 14 years old. I still wear them. They're nightgowns. Who cares? They're very comfortable. But the front is very low, which, it was necessary at one point in time. But so I took that nightgown, created a pattern from it, and made it a little less V-necky. And I got this fabric from Joann's. Probably like the last little bit of on a bolt. I think it was probably about maybe a yard, 2 yards at the most. I don't know. I didn't measure. I just kind of went for it last summer. At the end of last summer, I kind of just went for it and cut it out, and then I sewed it up really quick, and then all I had to do was finish the neck binding, the armhole binding, and then finish the skirt. The skirt, one panel was longer than the rest, which is this panel. And I thought, well, maybe I should just cut it off because that would be essentially cutting off like 3 inches. But I really like the length of this panel. So I thought, well, I'll do that. But the panel itself was missing a big triangle. So I kind of finagled another section of the skirt, essentially. And then I kind of put this here is, I'll show this side, it's easier to see. So this side, there's my triangle. I had to put another smaller piece there. And then I kind of just matched them. This is not like professional at all. This is just slapped together and see how it works. And I think I needed to do that because even though I kind of followed a pattern, followed other people's opinions and teachings off of YouTube, I just had to see if what I was thinking could translate into this. Now, I haven't finished the seams, except for the putting them together. I'm still debating on that because one side is real long in some areas and the other side is real short. So I could turn it over and just, sew it up. There are a lot of spots here. Should I just go over and just zigzag as close as I can get? Because, like here it is, it's not even. It's just, and then I think, well, will it stay together if I wash it? Should I tempt it? So at this present moment, it is done with the sewing. I will think about the seams some more. I haven't worn it yet because it's so wretchedly hot in my house. On average, it's about 85 degrees inside the house with the AC on. Sometimes it's even worse, depending on how I have my windows. Like right now, I have them kind of open for the light of this video, and I have only one fan on in here, and it's kind of warming up. So that's one finished object. I am happy. I really like the pattern of the fabric. It's really super soft. I have put it on. It is comfortable. I know I will wear it. I just gotta spend some time fixing the seams on the inside so it is wearable for longer. If you have any tips or tricks on how to do that, simply because there are a lot of seams. I mean, a lot of seams. Even on the bottom part of the skirt, as you can see, there are a lot of seams. And sometimes knit base fabric doesn't fray, and sometimes it does, and I have no idea, because I probably bought this maybe 5 years ago. There is no record of what its composition is. It is super stretchy, so I know it's a cotton poly of some sort, or spandex, or something of that nature. Anyway, it is a nightgown, and if it falls apart, well, at least I tried and made something, right? That's where I'm going with that. So, it has been so hot, as I have mentioned. In fact, I have 2 beverages, water and coffee. It has been so hot lately that working on projects that require a lot of heat, like a large sweater in one piece, or it's just been really easier to work in small batches. So I have been working on my socks, and I have a little bit of ideas of how, I have a certain way of doing things that I thought may be helpful to others. So I have this book. It's just a journal I got from Walmart with a gift card one Christmas, and I saw it. I was like, ooh, it's so pretty, and I have a gift card, yay! So I know I've shown this before. You know, these are my gauge swatch information. Here's my whips. As you can see, when I get done with something, I just, cross it off. I have approximately 25 projects going at this time. The sewing one I put down here just to keep me on track. I just put all of them together, like all the things I want to make, and then I have little check marks by some of the things I have started. Now, that's great. It keeps me organized. I know that I should really start working on this one project I want to work on, and I am working on this one. And then a year or 2 ago, I started writing down steps for each project, and I wrote a list here. It's more than 1 page, but you get the idea. So I wrote it in a bigger format. So, for example, my black socks that I'm working on. I shouldn't say my black socks. The black socks I am working on. I am using Ann Budd's pattern book. I've only made one other sock pattern, and it did not fit my foot well. In fact, I do still wear those socks, but when I wear them, I'm always like, They just don't fit my foot as well as her sock pattern. There is a picture, simple. You can do any type of ribbing. You can do any type of finishing. I follow her basic pattern, and I use a 3x1 rib. That is my preferred sock. I make all of my socks the same. All of them the same. Because I know what works, and it is comforting to my mind to just go okay, I'm here. Now I'm here. Now I'm here. Now I'm here. And I use like a post-it to keep me organized. Or sometimes I put a piece of paper in there because I may have more than one sock going at one time, such as now. Because when I do the upper cuff, I use a US 2.5 or a 3mm needle. And then for the lower part of the cuff, and you do about half and half for the calf to have more space, and then for the ankle part to cinch in a little bit. So the lower cuff, I use a US 2, and that is the remainder of the whole sock, or 2.75. So for the black socks, I needed 9 inches, so 4.5 and 4.5 inches. And then I do the heel flap, then I do the heel flap. Then I do the turn heel, then I do the turn heel. Then I do the gusset, then I do the gusset. So, and so on and so forth. So I am presently working on my socks. Okay, so here is black, so it's really hard to see. There is the cuff. Where this needle is stationed, that begins the heel flap. And then, as you can see, I have done the turn heel. Now, I always add an extra sock yarn for the turn heel because I wear my heels out very fast. This does not add bulk to my overall fitness of my shoes or boots. I did do it once with the toe as well, and that really changed how my shoe or boot fits. It fits well in my boot, but not in regular shoes. And I wear these at work all the time. And the heel, this one is purple, and this one is red. Because I was just using leftover sock yarn, and it's on the bottom of your foot, and it doesn't matter what it looks like up top. Now, this one I haven't picked up for the gusset yet. This one, I picked up the gusset this morning. You can see, I don't want to lose my needles. You can see where I'm at. Oh yeah, okay. Got a little nervous. For this pattern, it's stated like, pick up 18 stitches for the gusset. I don't do that. I pick up as many stitches as I feel fit to make sure there is no hole or gaping or stretching. So on this sock, I picked up 3 extra stitches. Sometimes I pick up 4, but this one seemed fine with the 3 extra stitches. So I picked up 21 stitches on each side, which also is about 6 more stitches or almost an inch, because this is a 7 stitch per inch gauge. I am using Patons sock yarn. It is presently my favorite. It's just the typical Patons Kroy Sock yarn. This is the black. I've never done a solid color before, so this is new for me. I thought it would be boring to only do a solid color. It is not. This is very challenging though, because it is dark and I need an extra light or daylight to see. This has been awesome, by the way. This lamp has really, really helped. So, what else can I say? Oh, I'm using my Knitter's Pride Zing double pointed needles. I have never made socks using magic loop, or I've only used the tiny little needles with the small circumference cables for like an arm, or for something really small. I can't even remember right now what project it was, and it was painful, very, very painful. I don't mind double pointed needles. I would like to get good enough to make colorwork mittens with my double pointed needles, and I haven't done that yet, so that is a challenge for me in the future. These Knitter's Pride Zing are blunt. I only find them to be a bit of an issue only when I am what's the word I'm looking for? When I drop a stitch or make a mistake, and sometimes it's hard, you know, they're not pointy, so you can't really pick up the yarn as easy. But then I just use a little crochet hook. This is from one of my sets. It fits into that gauge, and that works. So I bought my Glitter Pride things from Amazon, I think in 2019. There's a clear window on both sides. Oops. Wait. Okay. So I bought 2 sets because I wanted to make 2 socks at the same time so I would never have second sock syndrome. And that is a real issue that plagues a lot of people. So I start 2 socks at the same time. As you can see, I have started with another pair of socks because my needles are missing. And this comes in from 0 all the way to 3. I think it's 0, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, and 3. I know they're changing their name, but I like those a lot. And they have come in handy. So when I get to the gusset, I'm going to do the gusset on my other sock. And then once I decrease all of the stitches on the gusset, that is when I will cross off the gusset. Right now I have a check because I started one. I'm going to start the other one. And then I'm just going to work on them getting down to the right amount of stitches for the pattern. It does require, since I added those extra stitches, 3 more decreases. You just get down to whatever it says, you know, like, I think it's, I don't even remember. We'll just say 32 on one side, 16 on one side, 16 on the other side, so it's all even. And then that'd be 64 stitches, something to that effect. So, yes, so I work 2 at a time, separately but together, and it really keeps me motivated to get to each spot. It also, like, if I get further on one, then I set it aside and get further on the other. And then when I get to the gusset part, I usually start a new pair of socks. And I usually make socks in the self-striping yarn because it really keeps me motivated. I was like, ooh, I'm on this pretty green. I do not care if my socks are symmetrical. In fact, I prefer them to be asymmetrical because I learned this from Knitting Group Ann. She liked everything symmetrical. She would painstakingly find the same part of yarn so that her socks would be symmetrical. And I thought to myself at that moment in time, even before I started making socks, well, that's stupid. Who has time for that? Well, she did. She was retired. She had money. She could do as she wished. She didn't have work. She didn't have children. She had grown children, but she didn't have small children at home. So I just adopted into my mind, start it where it starts. Who cares? They are similar enough that they're not that different. And they're different enough that they're not too similar. So that's what I have started. This is going to be fun. This is called Midnight Orchid, Patons Midnight Orchid Kroy Sock yarn. And this one it started off really dark, and it is looking mighty fine. It is not really hard to start the needles without any twisting. I just kind of lay them down. So as you can see, this is the beginning part. I just make sure when I start, I lay it and I just kind of make sure that everything is lined up. And then I just start knitting. The first round is the most slow because you're just making sure you grab everything correctly. But I have in the past Started just with a round of stockinette. That, according to Knitting Group Ann, wasn't the correct procedure, but that's what helped me learn how to do the correct procedure. We're all different. We can all do our own thing. Now, when I get to here, I just make sure that everything is lining up. And then after that, you can see, I mean, this is very small, but you can see how it just grows, and you're just making the sock up. Now, the other side, the other skein, is lighter. Ooh. You know, it started out in a different spot. And then there's the green. Oh, the green was so fun to work with last night. So I'm going to look forward to seeing how these become. Like, how many rows between each color will there be? Because some yarns are thicker sections than others, and we'll find out. Now, I keep them in each their own bag. It just keeps things safer for me. I have cats, and they're not present at this moment. And sometimes the cats like to kill my yarn, like they did last week with my black socks. Thankfully, no one was hurt in the process of their killing. All right. The same method for my sock crossing off list, I also created for all of my cardigans. And I am going to, I only finished one cardigan panel, which is the back panel of my upcycle alpaca blend set in sleeve crew neck cardigan. I am so happy. I was right before this line, about an inch down. That is to mark where the armhole starts. And I really enjoy putting a lifeline in my pieces instead of using pins or stitch holders like this one. You know, the little light bulb one. Because these can still snag your yarn depending on your yarn. This upcycle alpaca blend is a Knit Picks yarn. I bought a lot of this throughout the years. Right now, they do not carry the sport weight version. They only have the worsted weight version. A little side note, I am an affiliate member with Knit Picks. I have not seen any evidence of any carpet beetles in my yarn. I show every time I have my yarn in plastic bags, and then I also put my yarn in bins because moths are a real thing. Cats are a real thing, and other type of fiber munching bugs are a real thing. I have not received any damaged product from Knit Picks ever. I am an affiliate member, like I stated. If you do click on my link in the description below, it'll lead you to the site. If you do buy anything using my link, I do receive a small commission. It hasn't happened as of yet, as well as if you decide to buy from them, that is up to you. It is your choice. You do not have to if you do not want to. If you want to wait and see if this situation that people have put online about their carpet beetle infestation is accurate or not, that is up to you to decide. Presently, I do not need to buy any more yarn at this time because my stash is so full. Yeah, I have enough yarn to work with for a while. I have bought a lot of things when they were on sale, and now I can just, make stuff. Does that mean I don't look longingly at different websites or even Knit Picks at, their sales? Oh yeah, I do. I just turned down in my mind. I said, you don't need to buy any more Lopi yarn. You have enough Lopi yarn, even though I received a notification from Little Knit Seattle that Lopi yarn was on sale. So this is the first panel. I am glad that this is done because towards the end, it was really hot. You know, it's kind of like a small blanket. But I am using the Ann Buds Another Sandy Book of Sweater Patterns for all of my cardigans. I really like her books, obviously, because I keep showing them. This one, it was blah, blah. Okay, so for the ribbing, I did a 1x1 rib. Let's see, 1x1 rib using US 2.5 or 3mm, and I did it for 1.5 inches. And then I went up to a size 4 or a 3.5mm for the body. The color is titanium. The blend of yarn is 33% acrylic, 33% alpaca, and 34% wool. I will wet block this, and I do expect it to grow a bit in its blocking. Now I have to do I'm going to do the left front, then the right front, and then the 2 sleeves. It is working up relatively quick. I am using my Knit Picks Reflections needle. I really like these. There's a stainless steel with a little bit of nickel. The nickel does not bother me at all. They are very smooth. They do have a nice pointed tip. Let's see if we can hold that. The cables are very, very nice. The join is very nice, and then they have those little holes on the side here where you can put the thread through, and then you have your lifeline. Yeah, it is a smooth yarn. I really do like it. So next, let's go on to my palette cardigan. I didn't get as far with this one. This is also a Knit Picks yarn. It is their fingering weight palette, and this is the color Camel Twist. They do not have this color presently. I bought this 6 years ago. Still smells so good. So there is a little marker here where I started last week. I got another few inches, and you can kind of see the line, the lifeline. That's where the armhole shaping is. I need to get to about 9.5 inches or so before I do the shoulder shaping. And I'm going to just move my pin so we can see where I get to next week. This is a 2-ply yarn. It is really nice once you block it. And with my other palette cardigan that I made, which I call my pixelated cardigan, once I blocked it the second time, it just became so soft, so smooth. It is very nice. I get a lot of compliments on it. It is not an easy yarn or easy thing to sew up because of the marledness, but I figured out a way to do that. Lots of light and markers, stitch markers. I did a 2x2 ribbing. I used a US 2 or a 2.75mm, and I made it 1.5 inches. That seems to be, in my mind's eye, the right length for what I want. And then the body of the sweater is using a US 3. I am using the Knit Picks Reflections set for this one as well. This is flying off the needles compared to when I was using, I think they were Knitter's Pride. I don't think they were Clover. Bamboo needles, because those were the only size I could find at the time. And it just was like, it would hurt my hands. This doesn't hurt my hands. I did invest in these needles. I invested in the collection, the Reflections collection, say that 10 times fast, from Knit Picks it was on sale, and then I also had another like coupon or something like that. So I got the regulars, the shorties, and the lace weight. The lace weight and the regulars do not use the same cable because of the joint. It's a smaller joint on the lace weight, which makes sense to me. I didn't realize they had another set along with, like, they had a different collection which had the really big needles. I wish I had bought those at that time. You know, like, so I would have had all 4 sets in one purchase price. But I bought 3. So it was an investment. It was a wise investment according to me. Because you've got to work with the tools that make you happy, and I really, really enjoy those meals. So, let's see. Yeah, I'm just moving along. I cannot wait to get that done. My last cardigan, and the last thing I'm going to discuss, is my Barocco Dolce V-neck drop shoulder cardigan, which is a discontinued yarn, unfortunately. I don't know why they discontinued it. It's lovely. It is a brushed alpaca yarn over a braided core of cotton, wool, and nylon in the color jade. This is the first sleeve. I'm using the pins off this sleeve for my second sleeve. I did 1.5 inches of ribbing in a 1x1. Did I write stuff down? I sure did. I used a US 5 for the ribbing, and then I used a US 7 for the body of the sweater parts. Here, oh, is this all dangly? It's all over. Okay, so here is the second sleeve. I don't want it to come apart. Okay, there it is. The second sleeve is coming along. There's my pins. I'm increasing. So I'm using this book. And I decided I didn't want my cuff to be really tight. This is kind of an older edition. I don't think there's a newer edition. It's just kind of an older style. So you can change that very simply. I decided I didn't want a really cinched in cuff. I wanted it to be a little bit looser. So I think I started at 60 stitches and I have to get up to 100 stitches for my body size, the size that I picked out. I am doing the size 42-inch bust for the stitch count, but the size 40 in length. So I needed to, since I started here and I need to get up to 100, I had to have 40 stitches increased to a certain point, and that would equal to, how did I do that? 2 stitches per increase. I think it's 20 times, because that would be 40. So I need to do quite a bit more increasing. And then knit up. This yarn is going, excuse me, a little hoarse. This yarn is going so far, and I'm hoping, I was looking last night at the ranunculus pattern that I bought. Haven't made yet. Really would like to. It seems to be a really comfortable, enjoyable sweater making, wearing for a lot of people. I have fuzz all over me. And I was like, ooh, wouldn't it be nice to make one out of this? So we'll see how much yarn I have left. But I still have to do the button band, sew everything up, button band, and collar. And it is a V-neck, so I might be doing the whole shebang all together. That's going to be a challenge. So that is about it. I don't have much else to say. And my cats have disappeared. My dog is sleeping over there. My daughter is wandering around the house somewhere. Anywho, I hope you're all having a good day, and stay warm if you're cold. Stay cold if you're warm. And, stay safe with the bad air that is outside. I hope you are all doing well, and thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking, and thank you for all of your comments. I really do appreciate all of the help I have received, all the nice comments I have gotten. And, if you have something to say, please say it. Whether it's good or bad, we all deserve to have a little bit of discourse. So, if you have any suggestions on if I should finish the seams of my nightgown, or will it not fray, or just take a chance, let me know. I hope to be sewing more. It has just been kind of hard to, our AC unit is in that room that I sew in. You say, oh, well, that's good, right? Yes and no. We have a lot of fans pushing the cool air around the house. And when I was sewing this one up on the hem this past week, every time you clip the thread off and you set it down, it flies somewhere else, and I don't want my cats to eat it. And so I'd be like trying to put it, and then it was kind of a hassle. So, and it's, I don't know, it was just kind of a hassle. Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for stopping by. I hope to see you again real soon. Take care. Have fun. Bye.